Right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning from our Lagos office and Enterprise Television. It is. Now to our main conversation for today. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to 10 #End Bad Governance protesters detained on charges including treason. The protesters were granted bail set at 10 million naira each, with one surety in the same amount. Justice Nwite emphasized the principle of a presumption of innocence, stating that anyone charged with a criminal offense is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Despite the serious nature of the charges, Justice Nwite granted bail to all 10 defendants, considering the submissions of the defense counsel. The judge stated, and I quote, "I hereby grant the defendants bail, notwithstanding the crime." End quote. The bail conditions require each defendant to provide a 10 million naira surety, ensuring their appearance in court for a trial. Well, that's all we have for our main conversation. And now let's get into the conversation and, of course, deal with this issue decisively. And still with us, Barrister Vansofeli and Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and hanging on. Now, let's get into this issue. This is an area both gentlemen, both of you are very, very so conversant about, and I would love us to, if possible, have a forensic digging into this particular issue. Number one question to you, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, is this. How much discretion do you think the court has in stipulating amount that should be as a bail condition for whatever crime?
The discretion of the court in terms of granting bail cannot be quantified. He has discretion to do anything and to impose any condition as he likes. But in law, when we say a court has a discretion, it is also stated that that discretion must be exercised judicially and judiciously. In other words, he must consider all the facts before he must look at the circumstances. He must also bear in mind that this person has been alleged, the position of the contract that says you are presumed innocent on the contrary. So he must look at the law. He must look at the fact of the case. So if you look at it in his benevolence, he has the discretion. There's no limitation as to what discretion he has in terms of granting bail. The only limitation, as I said earlier on, is that he must be exercised judiciously and judicially. So once he believes in his own opinion that what he has done is judicially and judiciously, then he can do whatever he can do, whatever he likes. So the condition for bail is as determined by the judge.
But in your view, do you think 10 million naira is enough?
No, this condition as part of the sign is stringent. It's stringent as but I also must have to correct an impression. Okay. They are not asking them to put down 10 million naira.
Okay.
Because most people don't understand.
20 million actually, 10 million for
they are not asking them to put 10 million naira down. What they are asking them to, what it means that, so when you say you are granted 10 million naira bail in this, with surety in the large sum, what it means that the person that will come and guarantee you, come and stand as surety, must be a person who can say that, look, I have 10 million naira. I have the means of getting 10 million naira. I can forfeit it. In other words, what the surety will only be required to do is to sign an affidavit of means that I am so and so person, that I have this social company, or I have this other business, I earn so amount, I have so amount in my account, I have social property or this and that that is worth 10 million naira. Those are the things he needs to do. He's not going to bring out 10 million naira and say,
okay, so no physical cash is
no. Except the court, there are some circumstances when the court will specifically say they must pay that money down. But that's not the case here.
Okay.
That's not the case here. What is here is bail bond. And that does not mean he will bring down the money. But notwithstanding, it is stringent. Because look at the caliber of people that have been arraigned. How many of them will have people who can show that I have 10 million naira?
It's hunger protest.
It did not end there. The condition is not end there. Said the surety must also have property in Abuja, and that property must have documents. The surety must also surrender his international passports. So which means as long as the case continues, a surety that wants to travel will not be able to go anywhere just because you guarantee somebody. As long as the case, so most people will not be willing to do that or undertake that kind of a journey where he will be required to bring down his document when he doesn't even understand when the matter will end. So and the most important is that it will be difficult for these people to see anybody that will be that will have that kind of a that will be able to say, look, I have this money, I have this property, I have this and that, I can put it down for these people. It's going to be difficult. It shows that the government is not interested in finding them guilty of the offense.
Beautiful.
What they are trying to do is to just keep them there for a purpose. And you also recall that or remember that there's a planned protest for October 1st. Yeah. So it's just to show, to intimidate other people, that if you go on protest, this is what will happen to you. So it's an abuse of power, as far as I'm concerned. Because protest is recognized by law. Protest is a civil responsibility of citizens. So protest is not an offense. The government has now turned it to an offense to say they want to topple the government. I see. We also the judges also have to do something. I appreciate that I gave him bail, but indirectly that bail was not given. Yes. So I appreciate that, but the courts should not also look at the charge. But you won't blame the judge yet.
Why?
You won't blame the judge, because ordinarily, if you are looking at the charge brought before the court, they are not supposed to be giving bail at all. Total of condition. Offense of treasonable felony or treasonable.
Even when the judge is knowledgeable enough to know that those
yes, but ordinarily or generally, offense of there are some offenses that are considered very, very serious offense that you cannot ordinarily get a bail. Murder, you still have presumption of innocence. But if you commit murder, you are likely not to they may likely not give you bail. If you commit treason, if you are charged for treason, not commit, if you are charged for treason, they may likely not give you bail. So ordinarily, if he wants to go strictly with the law, the judge will not even give them bail at all. But the judge also made people, like I said, he has also look at the facts of the case. Because when you file charge, you don't just drop the charge alone with the courts. There's what we call proof of evidence. That proof of evidence is what will show these are the list of our witnesses. This is what they are coming to say against these people. This is what they say these people have done. This is what they say these people have done. So maybe the court has looked at that and realized that, look, this is not enough to say treason, maybe mere protest. But because of the nature of the offense, you want to balance the situation to say that, look, okay, that was right. So I won't blame the judge. I will blame those who draft the charge, the Ministry of Justice. I will blame them. The Attorney General of the Federation.
Okay.
Because he must approve it before it is filed. And that's why when people are saying our new Attorney General is a man of integrity, is a man that will not compromise. Anybody that wants to work with government and is not ready to dance to the tune of the government, he will not be able to work with the government.
Beautiful. Now let's go deeper into this. I do not know if you believe or you agree with what Barrister Tunji did say. They seem like a Trojan horse, obviously. Now the question is, do you think there is a possibility for an appeal to this?
Well, at this level, we're not talking about an appeal. What they can do is to bring an application to vary the bail condition.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. The defense counsel can actually say, my lord, this bail condition is stringent. Okay. And given the fact that these persons were out there for a hunger protest in the first place, is an indication that they are not well to do. Of course, where are they going to, and given their age, where will they get someone who will have such kind of property, and who will be of this and who will be of that? So you argue it. You argue it in your bail up, the motion to vary the this thing. So that is the situation. That's what they should do now, so that your lordship can reassess the situation and then drop or make it a little bit lighter for them to meet the bail condition. Because right now, they will be remanded to prison custody. And then in prison custody, it's from there they will come to perfect their bail. But that variation is important. That's actually the next step under the law. And as for issue of bail, okay, the general rule is that every offense is bailable, even murder. That's the general rule. Okay, that's the general rule. But the same law also places the discretion on the judge to take judicial notice of the situation. If granting bail will lead to manifest injustice or will assist the defendant to escape justice, he must not grant it. If the offense is a capital one, if it's heinous, such that granting bail might pose a threat to trial, he must not grant it. You understand? That is why when you look at the issue of treason, treasonable felony, murder, homicide, and all that, is very rare. Is very rare, except maybe in stringent health condition, which is rare. You understand? Because the likelihood that you will procure the defendant to constant trial or continue is very lean. Some of them want to jump there and all that. So that is the issue. But in the case of that reference, he said the Attorney General should be blamed. In fact, I did an article on this already, that the offense so committed, it's not treason, it's not even treasonable felony. Because treason and treasonable felony is spelled out by law. Section 34 of the Criminal Code spells out what treason is, what treasonable felony is. And it has to do with you levying war against the country or making an attempt to remove the governor or to remove the president.
So in an ideal case, what do you think is the offense?
This is protest. There's no offense.
There's no offense.
There's no offense. It's protest.
So if I thought there's no offense, they can go for breach of peace.
Maybe breach of peace.
Which is lighter offense.
Maybe for theft for those who looted. And maybe for conduct likely to breach public peace. Those are not offenses that are onerous. They are not offenses that you begin to ask somebody to go and bring someone that have property in Abuja and everywhere. You understand? So it's just that government want to use this as a machinery to stifle protests. And that's what the Attorney General is being used. The Attorney General that is supposed to, that is supposed to guide government on the citizens' fundamental rights as prescribed under Section 4 of the Constitution, is the one now being used to turn those rights to an offense. Protest is a right, not an offense.
And exclusively, yes. And exclusively, the judge equally made mention that henceforth they should never participate in any protest again.
Pending determination of the case.
Yes.
Yes, pending determination of the case. That is the judge. That's an order.
Oh, okay.
Okay, of the court. Because if they meet the bail condition now and they are released, he's saying don't go back to protest pending determination of this case. That's fair enough, okay? But for me, I also feel that, looking at this case graphically, I also feel that the judge is trying to be careful. And I don't think it is the right thing to do, trying to be careful as a judge. You don't need to be careful. All you need to do is to follow the law. All you need to do is, in places where things work, even if the president have a directive on an issue and the law is saying otherwise, the institution will tell the president that you cannot walk this path because of this law, and that the law will prevail. This constitution is supreme. This provision is supposed to supersede every other consideration, whether military or civilian and all that. But in Nigeria, they repress the law and advance their mischief. So it is that mischief that we're not dealing with. That's why I was saying we don't have democracy. He said we have civil rule. And that's the truth. Because if we have democracy, the spirit and letters of the Constitution will supersede every other consideration. But here, that is not the case at all. The Attorney General of the Federation is trying to help government to clamp down on citizens. That's exactly what's going on, and it's wrong.
Now, the Attorney General helping to clamp down on that. Afam Osigwe, SAN, during his inauguration, promised that every chapter of the association in every state should ensure that lawyers should, of course, make sure that they move on this particular issue and do what is needful. How much of that do you think could be a solution to the problem now? Before
he made that statement, lawyers have been granted pro bono for the NSAS protesters. I personally did pro bono on 6 matters. I brought out 6 persons from detention. So we've been doing that already. What he needs to do is to talk to the Attorney General of the Federation to stop assisting government to frustrate citizens during protests. You see, AFAM's position is not bad by encouraging lawyers to go do pro bono. Lawyers even do it before he became NBA president. But what is much more important is with his influence as a life bencher, with his influence as a senior advocate of Nigeria, and with his influence as the NBA president, he should talk to the Attorney General of the Federation, to guide government, to let government know, because that's his function, to let government know that protest is not treasonable felony or treason. It's not. Okay, if there were persons that have been picked during the protest that were stealing and looting, you can charge them for order with evidence and have them, you know. But this one, where you just gather people because they came out to exercise their right to protest, you call it treason, that they want to topple government. And then the Attorney General is now drafting charge sheet that lied to itself. It is an aberration. It is a disgrace to the bar and the bench.
Beautiful.
You see, let me say that, look, the aspect of Alpha Bosigwe, the president of MDA, going to advise the Attorney General, is just, he will not hold any water.
Really?
Because we have an Attorney General that is perceived by people as experienced and a good guru in law. This is a man who became, he was the first youngest lawyer to become a in Nigeria at the age of 30 or so years old.
Who are we even talking about here? So the audience.
The Attorney General of the Federation.
Okay, beautiful.
He is a man that people said, look, he knows the law in and out. That is very good in litigation. So this issue of what is happening today is not as if he doesn't know. They have said it earlier on, that if you are working for government, it is not your own advice that they want. What the government will tell you is to look for a way. Can't we charge them for anything? We don't want to win. Just look for things that can take them to court. So, and the Attorney General that does not want to lose his job. If you have people in this country who value their integrity in our first country or a country where things work well, such Attorney General will resign. Say, I cannot do it. I've seen, even in Nigeria, I've seen some of them. Though I may not know the detail of what caused their. It happened in Ogun State. SAN Wemima Ogunde. He resigned. The one who are told that he said the government, he advised the governor as to certain position, and the government said otherwise, and he resigned. I've seen an essay to legal in my state who resigned based on the similar situation. That look, I advised the government that this is not the way to go, and the government said no, and I said okay, well, I will not be part of it.
In Kwara State, that
yes,
is.
During my state president's regime, it happened. So what I'm saying is that we have a government. Government should help people to do their job if they want to do. They will not allow the Attorney General to do his job because they will not give them the right position and they will follow because they are not looking for that right position. They also know. These people in government, they know. They are not lawyers, but they know law. Some of them know law more than the lawyers. They know the position of things. And some, I started a lot of people who have participated in protest, who are masters, allegedly, in protest, even though some of them were abroad. They ran away and started doing protests abroad. They won't stay here. They ran away and then they say online protest. So for me, they know what they are doing. And the Attorney General cannot do otherwise, except he wants to show his integrity and say, I want to resign my appointment. Attorney General that is not ready to resign his appointment will follow the whatever. Because so no matter what NBA president try to advise, they will not listen. So the only thing he can do is to ensure that they have representatives in the form of lawyers who will stand for them and defend them in court. And that's what AFAM is doing now. The first thing he did was, when he came in, he also constitute a human rights committee or something. And they also advise branches to set up people who assist these people wherever they have. We are in a country where government don't listen to people. They just want to do what they want to do.
Now, government not listening to the people and doing what they want to do. In the 4.5 years of Sani Abacha, it seemed to me we're experiencing the same thing. Particularly in 1996, Professor Wole Soyinka was equally charged for treason.
Yes.
So what makes this government different from Sani Abacha's?
It's supposed to be different because as at that 1996, when Wole Soyinka was charged for treason, was this same Tinubu that started protests and later, went on exile. Okay? So it's a government that is supposed to be different because we have what you call democracy. During the 1996 era you talked about, the constitution has been suspended. There's what they call ratification and modification. The military rule, they suspend the constitution. Okay, now we have a constitution. We have a whole chapter a whole chapter from section 33 to section 46 defining human rights, one of which is the right to protest. And then you have a government that is even acting worse than a military government. And this is the same government that have experience in protests. So this is an irony of sorts. Okay? It is a reversal of fortune. Because democracy is supposed to be a case of fortune, a case for humanity. In fact, the doctrine of democracy is man's attempt to make a case for humanity. But what you now have today in Nigeria is at variance to that cause. Because governments don't want the people to exercise their rights under this dispensation. And then the people cannot remain without exercising their rights. That right must be exercised whether the government likes it or not. And you see this act already, the reason it's worsening is because there is no National Assembly. We don't have a National Assembly. So that is why if you say the same thing that happened during Abuja is what is happening now, I will not argue with you. Because during Abuja, there was no National Assembly. And in this democracy, there is no National Assembly. The one we have is toothless. The one we have, they don't, in fact, when you talk about making laws to alleviate people's poverty and to give the people hope for life and living and sense of belonging, they are nowhere to be found. All they want to do is to, join forces with the president to do the president's bidding. Conversely, the same government is unable to fish out Boko Haram. They are unable to fish out the bandits. They are unable to do a whole lot. The persons who actually, the criminals who actually are threats to the survival of the country, who actually have threatened the survival of the country, who are supposed to charge for treason and treasonable felony and the whole light of offenses, murder, arson, name the offense that these persons have committed. They are walking free all over the place with guns, with whatsoever it is, claiming territory, kidnapping people, raping people, collecting money from farmers before they go to their farms. They have established their presence in the face of this government. Government is unable to do nothing.
And openly they brandish whatever loot they get.
On TikTok, they brandish loot and all that. The government is powerless. But when the citizens now step out to protest, you clamp down on them, you charge them for treason, you charge them for everything under the earth. And Attorney General of the Federation that understand law is there to help the federal government to advance its illegality and the rest of that. That's why it's a disgrace to the bar and the bench. It's a disgrace to humanity, a disgrace to law. It's a disgrace to order. Everything is a disgrace now in this country.
Now, how yes, please.
Let me just say that we have National Assembly. What we don't have is functional National Assembly. That's on the lighter mode. Because if we have a functional National Assembly, all these things we are talking, all these protests we are even talking about, should be by them. They should be the one protesting on our behalf. But what do we see? We see a National Assembly that sees himself as part of the as part of the executive. In fact, they see them as an appendage of the executive. So that is so sad that we don't have a functional National Assembly.
Now, how much effect would this do to the supposed Oktoberfest protest? That is, if it eventually comes.
That may, to some extent. You see, with Nigerians, we are people who don't push through for whatever we believe in. We expect other people to do it for us. Now that people who are even trying to do it for us are being arrested, some people will even still sit back. It will affect psyche of some of the people who are supposed to participate. But notwithstanding, I still see a success in that protest, if at all, it's going to come.
All right. Finally, Mr. Bansufeli, I want you to, if possible, explain to us the value proposition for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially considering his heroic, syndrome, that of course he is exhibiting. This is in line with the media Muhammad Buhari, Punch particularly labeled him general in all of its publications. And now same Punch and all the mainstream media are looking at not doing anything much. What do you think Buhari has that is really, holding everyone not to cough?
When Punch did that, they did that because truly Buhari was a general. He was truly a general before he became a... Tinubu wasn't a general, so should you call him a general?
No, that was actually made to debase him. It wasn't really made
yes,
to...
it was made to debase him in general under democracy.
Yes.
Like writing general,
yes.
Buhari and all that.
Yeah.
In the true sense of it, apart from debasing, he was. A general is a general. Whether out of service. You understand?
Yes, yeah.
But that was to mock him, to debase and to, shame him. You understand? But in Tinubu's case, he was never won. So what would the journalists, what would they coin? They'll coin him and they'll coin what out.
So you mean experienced journalists have lost count, or they've forgotten whatever word they can use
until they coin something for us. Maybe whichever newspaper want to do that. Until they coin something for us. And don't forget that the man Tinubu is also very big in the media. You understand? He's big in the media. Some of these media houses you expect to coin a name for him to mock him. He's a shareholder in some of them. He dictates a lot in the media space. There are certain newspapers that will avoid certain story. You will not see it in there, even not for premium times, maybe, and then one or two of them that are altruistic.
So where does this leave us?
You will not. No, where it leaves us is that we are losing grip of professionalism because we have been so stifled and reduced to survival. So the soul of the nation has been abandoned. No one is taking care of the health of this country. No one is looking at where this country should be. We just have few people few investigative journalists, individuals like the PDOM, the David, Sunday, and the rest of them. Those are individuals who, by their own capacity and courage, they are doing something in that space. And in the legal space, we also have activists who are doing something in those spaces. But we need to do more. We need to do more because this is just 1 year. This is just a year of this government. And the analysis we have done already on this 1 year, on TV, everybody is talking, is enough for a 4-year term already. So it means that they are going to give us, in fact, if you are doing analysis, you have to really get prepared for the days coming.
Yeah, because
what we have done for 4 years, and I want it will just so it's going to be a long night.
Very true.
Let me say that.
Yeah, please do.
People are discouraged now.
Yeah.
In fact, most people are discouraged. I was reading is it a tweet or what do you call it now? Is it X or what do you call it?
X,
yeah, from one of the former presidential candidates. Former deputy CBN governor. What is his name again? What is his name? Former deputy governor of the CBN. I was reading it. He said he has taken decision not to advise government or say anything on economic issue again. And I was reading through the comments. Kingsley Mogalu. I was reading through the comment of the people who commented. They were saying, professors say, I've also taken same decision because it appears we are just talking. Nobody is taking to it. So if we are talking and nobody is taking to it, what is the essence of me talking every time? So in fact, he has been declining interview from the press. And people have been discouraged. And that is the strategy of those in government. If they don't know, that's the point. That's where I'm going. That those who are discouraged should not be discouraged. That is the tactics and strategy of those in government. They want to damn our spirit, and so that we won't be able to ask questions. They love it when people who are intelligent are not participating. They love it when people who can hold them to account are not saying anything. They love it. They enjoy it, and that's why you call them master. The strategy is working. As far as I'm concerned, the strategy is not. Unfortunately for me, the master strategy they are adopting is not for development of our economy. It's for personal development. I saw a video yesterday and I was worried. I said, how can we move forward? And people will come and say, for Kambale, or some people will say, endure pain. I saw it on a particular TV station. It's trending that 250 million naira was used by the was released by the president to do interior decoration for a function organized by the first lady. Decoration alone, that's not the amount to organize the entire event. The cost of decorating the hall,
and she said her office has no budget.
250 million naira, and they have money. They are not interested in our money, and they are using our money to do events.
Well, that's very so unfortunate if you ask me. Someone said during the Buhari's time in office, Nigeria was undergoing transfusion. That right now, in less than 2 years, Nigeria has been discharged from transfusion and have been reintegrated and going through dialysis and waiting for an organ transplant. Well, that is the situation, sadly, we've seen ourselves. But of course, we would continue to analyze some of these things and bring to you issues as they break. We'd love to say thank you to Pastor Fansofeli for being part of our show today. Pastor Tunji Abdulhamid.
Thank you.
Thank you as always. Beautiful. And most importantly, we'd love to say thank you to you for watching wherever you've done that around the world. We'd love to say thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate it and never will take you for granted. But please do well to see us every time you want to at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwewike. Thank you for watching, and on behalf of the entire team, I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.